Hi and welcome to Lecture 5. In this lecture we'll talk about the new action and start talking about the create action, although we won't see the full code for the create action till the next lecture. So the new action, again, keep in mind the idea is we're trying to have a way to create a new resource, a new post. So the controller is going to say go ahead and create a new variable called addPost using the post.new, which this actually doesn't go to the database, it just creates it in memory, as I'm sure you already know from the active record lectures. And the second step is going to be going to the new.html.erb, which is going to display the form in the browser, which you'll be able to fill out and submit that form to the next action, which is going to be the create action. So the new and create sort of go together. Now, for this one, there is no set post before action, obviously, because set post only makes sense if you have an ID of an existing post to be able to find it. In this case, we're actually creating a new post. So the next step is going to this new.html.erb template, which all this is going to do is going to say we have a new post, so this is going to be our form, and then we're going to render a form. Now, for now, we're not going to actually see the code for a form. Just keep in mind that form is something called a partial, which basically means it's like a fragment. And we'll talk about the partials later. So this is what the new action would actually look like once it gets rendered to a browser. So you have post/new, which goes to the server. The controller says, okay, grab the new.html.erb template and render it back to a browser. You'll have a form. The form is going to be submitting, so that's what this action is. It's going to be submitting to the /posts, which is the address to the create action when the method is post. And you could see that again with rake routes, but that is the case. And it basically is going to have a bunch of fields, one for title, one for content, and it also has this authenticity token, which has this hidden value which Rails automatically generates inside its forms for an extra security measure. And at that point, when you submit the form, it goes to the create action. Now, how does the create action work? Well, in theory, what it should do is you should be able to create a new post object with parameters that were passed in from a new form, from a new action, which generated a form. And then we're going to try to save that object to the database. And if that's successful, we're going to redirect, right? So the create action doesn't have a template. It's another one of those, like a destroy action, but doesn't really have a template, because what exactly would you show, right? That the create action makes sense to redirect to an existing template, to a show template, or even to an index template, and show that created resource as part of a list of resources that currently exist in the database, and this one would be the new resource that would exist. But in this case, we're just redirecting to a show template. That is the default behavior. And if it was unsuccessful, we're going to render the new action. Basically, we're going to re-render the template again, showing the error. So for example, if the validations did not pass in the database, we're going to send it back, and we're going to say, no, browser, render it again, show whatever the user put in already, and the rest of it you have to fill out and fix the errors, and then resubmit back to the create action. So in summary, new action provides a form to be filled out to create a new resource, and the create action accepts parameters passed in from filling out the form in the new action. And next we'll talk about this idea of strong parameters and flash, and at that point will be ready the actual code for the create action.